Max Kellerman, how much pressure is on Mayweather to sign and make this happen?
Wow. So much nothing. Nothing. There's zero pressure. Pressure on Floyd Mayweather? Why? He's retired.
To back it up and do it. He said he'd do it.
Floyd's not. Listen, Floyd talks smack about Triple G. He doesn't feel any pressure to fight him, and Triple G is a boxer. You think he feels pressure to fight Conor? He sat there with a super fight with Manny Pacquiao when Floyd and Manny were the two best pound-for-pound fighters in the world in their prime in the same weight division in one of the what was supposed to be greatest matchups in history, waited till years after the expiration date to actually sign for the fight, wound up making twice as much as he would have for a lesser threat. You think Floyd Mayweather is feeling pressure to sign to fight Conor McGregor? Let me tell you exactly the day Floyd Mayweather will sign to fight Conor McGregor. When he's good and ready, when he feels like the deal makes sense, he'll sign. Until then, he doesn't feel any pressure to fight McGregor. Is this a trick question?
Well, he shouldn't feel he won't feel pressure. But should he feel pressure? I can't believe I'm about to say this, but yes.
Yeah.
I do believe he should. I'm not saying he does, because he doesn't. You're right. But he should feel some pressure in this regard, and I can't believe that I have to correct the great boxing aficionado that is Max Kellerman. First of all, Floyd and Pac-Man were not in their prime. We know that fight was about 5 years later than it should have been.
Right, I said that.
And by the way, it was after Pacquiao got put to sleep by Juan Manuel Marquez. Okay, so I'm sorry. I thought I heard you say they fought when they were in their prime. I heard you say that.
No, when Pacquiao was in the division when they were both in their primes, he didn't feel enough pressure to make the fight then. He waited 5 years.
Fine, I stand corrected. I'm sorry, I heard you wrong. My bad. But I will say this. The reason why he should feel some pressure is because he's already on record, publicly, proclaiming the only fight he's interested in is Conor McGregor. And oh, by the way, Conor McGregor, who's never fought as a boxer, but fought as a UFC fighter, signs on the dotted line after all the noise that Floyd was making about him. Floyd came right on the first take and said, "You want to fight? Let's get it on. Sign on the dotted line. Let's make it happen." So in other words, you called him out. He answered. And he said, "Now what about you? What you gonna do?" I answered. I did what you asked me to do. Here I am. What are you going to do? So in that regard, because it's not Pacquiao, because it's not anybody else in the boxing ring, and you've got a guy who's a relative novice, who obviously everyone in the world with sense believes you are completely going to school, you being on the record proclaiming this is the only fight you're interested in, now the potential is there to make it happen. I think if you're Floyd, you should have to answer for that, because you have stated you're interested in him as opposed to dismissing him for the novice that he is compared to you.
One of the reasons Mayweather and Pacquiao took so long to make is it pitted two of the best negotiators in boxing against one another, Bob Arum and Top Rank, against Floyd Mayweather and Al Heyman. That took a long time to make because they both aren't trying to give too much. They're trying to cut the best deal for their own companies, for their own business. And this pits maybe the two best negotiators in combat sports, and among them in all of sports, Mayweather, of course, and Heyman on the one side, and Dana White on the other. So a lot of what we're seeing now is the kind of the stuff released to the media to create pressure one way or another, because they'll both make a deal if it makes sense for them, but only if. Right now, we're up to this phase because Dana White and the UFC have a deal with Conor in place. But now they need to take that deal and make a deal with Floyd. And Floyd is not the type to make a deal, and Al Heyman not the type to make a deal unless it makes sense for them. And obviously, Dana White and the UFC are not the type to make a deal unless it makes sense for them. So here we are, and eventually it will make sense for all parties because there is so much money to be made.
Exactly, and that's the whole point. Considering the deals that Dana White has made for UFC fighters, this is on another level. You're talking about Conor McGregor, highest payday was $3 to $5 million. Now he'll probably make at least 10, if not 20 or 30 times more than that, okay? So now you've got Floyd on the other side of the mix. And I'm saying to you, if you're Floyd, this is about you. Of course, you're the A side, and you can dictate the terms to a large degree. All of that is absolutely true. But unlike the other fighters where you were fighting and folks were saying you should fight this guy, you should fight that guy, you were retired. We were all minding our business. A matter of fact, Max Kellerman went on national television and said, it's a waste of Floyd's time. Why even entertain this? The only reason you took it seriously is because Floyd came out publicly and said, I'm taking it seriously. And this is the only fight that I want because I got an opportunity to make so much money because unlike the other fighters, this guy will market the fight just like I would. So I don't have to carry that load like I used to for everybody else. So you did all of that and you put all of that on Front Street. And Conor McGregor said, all right, here I am, signed on the dotted line. What about you? Now we're all looking at Floyd and we're saying, okay, what about you? Because we were leaving you alone. You came out and said, I want to do this. So if you said you want to do this, then get it done so we can see this.
Right. Meantime, you and me, Stephen A., are waiting for Floyd to come out of retirement to fight Triple G or at least Terrence Crawford.
I don't want to.
Or at least someone like that.
I'm on the record. I don't want Floyd anywhere near Triple G. Just stay the hell away from him.
How about Terrence Crawford?
I told Floyd to his face, do not go near that man. Stay the hell away from Triple G. Absolutely. Crawford, I love Crawford. But Max, I don't think, listen, please don't take this as disrespecting him because he's phenomenal. He's great. But I don't like the fact that you're at 140, and because you're so great at 140, you just move up to fight the best at 147. Nah, fight a contender or two first. You got to earn that.
Hey,
I don't like that.
That's what he did when he moved from 35 to 40. He just jumps in with anyone. He doesn't care.
I'm just saying, I understand it, and he might beat him, but I'm talking about protocol.
We'll do that later in the week.
Fight.
Let's do that later in the week.
That's all I'm saying. Fight Thurman. Fight Errol Spence. Fight somebody like that before you talk about Floyd, money, Mayweather. Stop.